What's up, guys? How's it going? And welcome to the Anicast. This is Kuro, and today we're gonna be talking about anime video games. And with me, we have our two co-hosts. How's it going,
Yo,
Racing?
what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, doing good, man. And we have Falcon. How are you, man?
Hey guys, doing pretty good.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm tired, but I'm tired. But I'm ready to go talk about this. Because I was like, this is a subject that we can talk a lot about. Because I'm a big fan of video games and anime. So you figure anime video games will be good, but in my experience, most anime video games are just not good. And I don't mean like I
Yeah,
don't mean anime. I don't mean games that have anime characters. I mean anime games that are like things like the Dragon Ball, Budokai games, which are pretty good. But there are some like the Naruto games or there was some Bleach games that are pretty shit, and there were some Full Metal Alchemist. That's like a crazy bad one for some reason. You'll figure uh, when it comes to Full Metal Alchemist. I think of like, oh man, that would be a good idea for a video game. Like, I feel like the video game format will fit so well for, come on, like an RPG or something like that.
Right.
With like the Full Metal Alchemist thing, but no, it turned out like one of the worst games I ever played.
I
Eh,
didn't even know I had a game. I never
Oh
played it.
yeah. There's a lot of them. One Piece also has a lot of really bad ones, which is also crazy because I feel like One Piece, with like everybody having like crazy powers and stuff like that, you will think it will translate so well to like video game format, but for some reason they just haven't like found the right niche for a good one. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. What are some games that you have played that are like, I would say, like good anime video games?
Well, here's like the weird thing I think about video game, like anime video games. I feel like a lot of times they end up making a decent one, and then they try to like release it every year or two after that, like a sequel to it, and it
Yeah,
ends up dying. I think that's what happens a lot
yeah.
of times.
I think that's also because of the nature of anime. You know, like the anime is serialized, so they continuously release new anime and stuff like that. So I think that they feel that they have to update, you know, like the character roster or like character moveset or something like that. That's happened with the Naruto Ninja Storm games,
Yeah,
where like you know
right.
like whenever
you
the
don't feel like you're getting a lot with the sequel, you know?
yeah,
That's the
right.
problem. You feel like you're getting kind of ripped off a little bit. They're not
Yeah.
bad games, but like if you own Ninja Storm and then like the second one or the third one, like there's four Ultimate Ninja Storms, right? And it's just like, oh, they just add some characters, add some story to it, which Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 I think is really good. I enjoyed that
Yeah.
one, but like it's not a lot different from 3 other than some new
Yeah,
characters
new
and some
characters, that
story.
kind of stuff. It's almost, if you think about it, it's almost like the sports video games of like anime. If you think about it like that, where every year there's like a new one, but in reality, it's like it's almost the same. It's just like with some additional features or some additional characters. But
Maybe better graphics.
yeah, maybe better
Yeah.
graphics. But I mean, sometimes it's like they legit look like one to one. Now
Yeah,
nowadays I think that it's kind of improved a little bit. At least it changed more over time. Because you don't hear the same stuff back in the day when I remember. I will see a game and I'm like, oh man, uh, is this a anime video game or is this just a game with anime characters on it? I always try to avoid like the anime video games because I'm like, oh man, that's probably gonna be bad. It kind of reminds me of the movie games. You know, in the early 2000s, there was like a game based on a movie like
yeah, like
Spider
Iron Man.
Man or Iron Man. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, like and they were like okay games. I wouldn't say that they were good games, but they will be made in conjunction with the movie to kind of almost like an advertisement type, I guess. Um,
And it was like it always felt like to me like it had been designed by someone who hasn't really designed designed video games before, so they don't really know how a video game should be, but they kind of do because they've played one before.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah, like I remember a lot of them were like made by Activision, for example, and there were some that were like very very bad. I remember I played an X-Men game, and it was terrible, but it was like the movie wasn't good either. So like in retrospective, I guess like if you have a pretty bad movie, and then you have a pretty bad video game, I guess you do what you do, right?
Like, weirdly enough, the SpongeBob video games somehow, I don't know how, but those are like translated into video games like really good. Like and even like the movie. Oh yeah, they're great. They remastered one.
Yeah, but I think that's the difference between something animated, because like I feel like something like that will lend itself because there's no serialization, there's no actual story. It's just kind of the characters doing something SpongeBob will do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that in itself just lends for anything, because you can do anything with SpongeBob, as long as it's SpongeBob with the SpongeBob characters, and it will probably still work out the same way. Which is not the same for other things. Like say like a Spider-Man game, which it has to have like in the case of like a movie, they has to follow the movie, or like same with the video games. Like with Naruto, for example, sometimes they will add like these stupid storylines, but it kind of has to follow the Naruto storyline a little bit. So like that, I feel like that's what kind of made them not too good. So
I think that's like there's like a really good point about we were talking about the Dragon Ball Budokai games. They usually do the story, right, or whatever, but then something I've always liked from those games is they do throw in like small like what if scenarios and stuff like that. Usually you have to beat the game to find it, but like I think the first Budokai game has like a what if scenario if like Cell, instead of absorbing Android 18, Cell absorbed Krillin, so he turns like this really short version of Cell who's like orange. He has like the orange gi on and everything. Like stuff like that makes it interesting, at least, because like the story's good and all, but like crazy stuff like that's like really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's true. Like I remember in the second Budokai game, you could unlock certain fusions that you could do.
Yeah, right.
Like, there was one where Goku and Mr. Satan could fuse, and that was hilarious. I remember doing all the stupid, really dumb fusions just because they were hilarious, and obviously they're not canon or anything. But like that kind of stuff, like those what if things or anything like that, that's just fun. That's just like fun stuff to look at.
You could fuse Tien and Yamcha, I think, as well.
Yeah,
Chamsha, I think, I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, that's a fusion as well.
Right. Yeah,
it was interesting. I think they
were always funny too.
Raging Blast 2, you could have Super Saiyan 3 Broly and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, those were never forms ever shown in the anime or anything at all. Still hasn't been, but like, if I remember, I think that's like the only Dragon Ball game where you can have Super Saiyan 3 versions of Vegeta and Broly, which is really weird. And it looks badass as hell, like,
really?
Especially Broly, but like, I think those are the only ones, really.
Interesting. Enough. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, stuff like that is awesome. Because I feel like it does add to the experience of like the game that you're playing. You're like, yeah, like I get this extra stuff for being a fan and like playing the game and everything. Unfortunately, I feel like not all the games do that.
Yeah, right.
Have either of you played the My Hero One's Justice?
Yeah, I played it a little bit. My ex had it, and I played on her.
The second one is actually really good.
Yeah, I tried playing the first one.
Really?
Isn't it super short? Like, the first one's really short, if I remember, and it has not even like 20 characters, if I remember right. It's really short. The first one is. The
second one has like a thing that keeps it interesting, so you can play like a super super long game, and you only play it at chunks at a time because it's kind of like a fighting game.
Yeah.
But it it plays the board really well. I don't really like the first one because it's very short, not deep.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the second one's pretty good.
Are those
I
made by
also-
the Ninja Storm people?
I
Because
don't
it
know
plays a
for
lot
sure.
like it. It might not be because it kind of seems different enough. The combat does, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure
It
on
may
that, but
be
I also
actually.
feel like it definitely was heavily inspired by it, I think.
But it works for My Hero, I think. I have no problem with it being like that.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Bakugo was super fun to play. Todoroki was really, really fun to play. I didn't like playing Midoriya very much, but it was a good game.
Why don't we do this? What is your guys' favorite anime, based off of like video game, I guess? You guys have any like particular favorites that you think do it well?
Probably just the
So-
Dragon Ball games or the Naruto games.
Is there one in particular? Like Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, I think is the best Naruto game. Honestly.
Yeah, I think so. He also has all the characters from literally from every.
And like what's good about that too is, and this is what I've always thought, I was like, what, they made so many Ninja Storm games, why don't they just do DLC? Well, they did do DLC on Ninja Storm 4. Like Boruto started coming out and they did a whole Boruto DLC. You can get Boruto and everything else. Not that Boruto's any good or whatever, I don't know. I've never seen it, but if you don't have to go out and buy a Boruto game, it's a DLC in Ninja Storm 4, which I think is like a good idea for them to have done. Instead of doing a whole new Ninja Storm just for Boruto, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so the game that I played the most, the Dragon Ball game that I played the most, is called Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. That's before they went Tenkaichi. So it was strictly 2D. So it was 3D characters, but they were only in a 2D fighting thing. It wasn't like where they run around in 3D. I actually don't like fighting games that use 3D, where the whole environment is 3D.
Oh really?
Yeah, I hate it, and I know the Naruto games started doing that too, and I've seen like most of the anime games nowadays do it. Like the My Hero
game.
Yeah, is like that, right? And then,
because it is like that. That's what makes Todoroki so cool, because he can like skate on his little ice slides and then launch fire in your face.
yeah, but then there's like there's the jump games. Have you guys ever played any of the jump superstars or all stars?
I played the most recent one. I think that was just called Jump Force, right?
Yeah. So the Jump Force is Falcon. I don't know if you know or not. So basically,
I know, but I haven't played it.
Yeah. So Jump Force is bad. It's just I don't know if somebody out there might like it. Jump Force is bad, but the idea of a all-star game is actually, they've done it a few times, but I did it back on the DS as Jump Ultimate Stars, and it was super good. It was a 2D game, say of something like Super Smash,
right?
but with like 2D sprites, and it was super good. It was really, really cool. I will have to show you guys, but the game was awesome. There were so many characters that you could unlock, and the way you unlock them too, it was like ripped out of a manga. So that what they will do is they will have scenes from their respective manga, and they will like kind of like show up when you do like ultimate attacks or special attacks or something like that. Like the aesthetic of the game was really cool, and it had again a ton of characters. I mean, you could get characters from Yu-Gi-Oh or from Dragon Ball, or like a lot of the older Jump games or anything like that. It did have so many characters. It was such an awesome game.
Isn't like Light Yagami in the newest one, which I always thought was weird.
Oh, Light shows up in the old one too.
I don't know, how does he fight? Like, how does he fight Goku? You know what I mean?
I don't know, but Yugi shows up too. Like everybody shows up. It's more of like the All Star part of thing where everybody's just fighting each other with like their best powers or something. The idea of it is pretty cool. I just think the execution is pretty bad.
Yeah, I think it's also the studio. Like a good studio needs to get a hold of it because I think they use different studios for the Jump games. I don't.
Yeah,
think
they have every one of them looks completely different. There's one called J Stars versus Plus, Victory versus Plus, and that one it looks pretty bad. It's also the PS4 too, but I don't think it did well at all.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
Yeah. So, but
like, Jump Force did all right if I remember, but it was kind of.
I think Jump Force at least got famous because people were annoyed at how it looked. Because how are you gonna make a fighting game with anime characters and make it look like 3D, like any other game out there? It just looked bizarre.
The art style wasn't the best either. From what I understand, that I did play that bit. Like I tried doing a series on it back when I had my channel was like a Dragon Ball channel, and it had character customization. I think that's the only one that has that. I think they might have been trying to copy Xenoverse a tiny bit with that because at least with that game, there's like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
you
like
can
there's
unlock like clothing from the other characters
from any game. Yeah, and there were like hub worlds. Like there's the Dragon Ball hub world, there's the Naruto hub world. And I think it was a Bleach hub world, and then there might have been another one. Or like One Piece. It was like One Piece, Bleach, Dragon Ball, Naruto. I think you had 4 hub worlds for each of those series. Then you had like a main hub world or something.
Yeah.
That was a good idea for them to do, but the missions and everything just sucked so bad.
Oh yeah,
it was not good.
Did. Yeah, it was pretty bad. There was a good idea about it, but I don't think execution was just done properly.
It's just the gameplay, which is weird.
Yeah, the gameplay
stages were fine. Bad. Character customization was pretty good. The hub worlds were great. It's just the combat was bad, and it kind of just got boring because I don't think there was a lot of characters either. It was like 20. Maybe 30 characters, whatever.
Yeah.
And the bad thing about those games too is I feel it feels kind of limited. Like you could play as Goku, but it's like you got Super Saiyan, maybe Super Saiyan 3. And you have a couple of his moves, and that's it. But like if you play like an actual Dragon Ball game, you get like all of his forms, a ton of his moves and everything.
So now going back to like the new fight games, there is the Dragon Ball Fighterz. And that's like I feel like that's the pinnacle of like anime fighting games. I just love that game so much. From like the 2D and 3D animations that they have, and the combos that you can pull off. And you played that game?
Yeah, I bought it because I was trying to cover it at the time. It's from Arc, right? Arc Systems, right?
Yeah, it's so good. I didn't
like it.
You didn't like it? What?
No, and I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I like the 3D Dragon Ball games. I
hate them. I just hate 3D anime in general. Every time I see them, I'm like, it looks so bad. I never seen good 2D. I never seen 3D animation that look good when it comes to anime.
Have you played the Raging Blast Dragon Ball games? Look up Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 roster. You'll see that I think is my favorite anime fighting game.
I don't like the characters. I see it now. I'm like, no, I don't like how they look.
Hold on. But have you seen the roster? Like, look up the roster. It is enormous. They did such a good job with this game. I like it. The roster is fucking enormous, but I don't know. Raging Blast 2, I think, is like... Well, it's also a PS3 game, so it may be a little dated. But the thing about that game is every single character has a story mode in it. And the story mode is if, like, they, in the Dragon Ball universe, like, beat every competitor they had to go through and then, like, basically got on top. Like, Vegeta's, it's like, you beat Goku, you beat Frieza, like, you beat Cell, you beat Buu or whatever. And, like, Vegeta, like... gets immortality. So you don't play through the Dragon Ball story like you do with like every single game. Like even Dragon Ball Kakarot, you just play in the Dragon Ball story. But in Raging Blast 2, there's like a roster of like 50 characters. And every character has a story mode, but the story mode is literally them like being number one, like the best fighter out of all of them. That's what I love about Raging Blast 2. That I don't know if any other anime games like really done that. Like every single scenario is a what if scenario. I think that's like the beauty of it.
I don't know. I don't know if I could do so many stories. I would kind of get annoyed after a while. If
well, they're kind of short.
Yeah. I don't know if I will be able to to wait that long. I'll be like, I get annoyed after a while. I'm like, man, I just want to unlock the characters and fight.
Well, you do after you beat like someone's story, you get a new character.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what you have to do. Which is what I don't like. I like sometimes unlocking characters as you play along and everything, but if you have to like unlock so many different storylines and play them, I feel like they'll just drag on forever. I'm like, oh man, you really have to be dedicated to unlock all the characters.
I know, I love Dragon Ball. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't mind listening and like going through the what if scenarios, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I don't mind if there's a few of them, but it's like if every single character, because I look at the roster and this is massive, so
yeah,
like,
I know.
You look at that, I'm like, oh man, that'll just be so many characters to play through to unlock everything.
That seems fun to me, though. I don't know. I was also a lot younger when I played it. Maybe now I'd be like, damn, this is boring. But like as a kid, I loved that. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah. The Raging Blast 3 also has GT, apparently.
Raging Blast 3 isn't a thing.
Is it not a thing?
They were going to do it, but they canceled it. Weirdly enough, they canceled it, and then it moved on to the Xenoverse guys. I don't know if you knew this, but the people who made the Xenoverse games... See, this is me going back on my channel. This is the reason why I know all this shit. Mm-hmm. The Raging Blast games, we're supposed to have another one for 3 or whatever, but the Xenoverse people picked it up, which those are the people that made the original Dragon Ball Budokai games. So that's why people think Xenoverse is good. It's like the people who made like the really good old ones, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there's a lot of nostalgia involved with how people feel about it.
Yeah. Well, it's also the thing of like, do people want to like play through the story again? You know, because Raging Blast 2 was like, we're not going to do this, just go through the Dragon Ball story again. And Xenoverse is also like that. It's like, we're just not going to go through the same Dragon Ball story. Like, Xenoverse has all this time dilation, crazy stuff, where basically that whole game is another, like, what if scenario.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. There's a bunch of new characters, so to speak, on the game and everything. Yeah.
Fighterz is also like that. It's a different story as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Fighterz is like that too. It goes through like it has like its own storyline. I think I value more that than going through the exact same story from the anime. I hate when they do that because I'm like, I already watched the anime. I don't really want to play through the entire exact same storyline.
Yeah, especially if like another game, like if another game did it better as well. Like the Super Saiyan 2 like Gohan transformation, if it's not as good as like a certain game, I'm like, this game sucks. It's like, I wish they would have done this a little better, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm just like, I don't really want to play the same game or the same storyline like a bunch of times because I already know the storyline. Like I know that the DBZ storyline with like the back of my hand. So like I don't really want to play it so many different times. And it does happen. Like we play Naruto games and it's the same thing. One Piece is the same thing, like the exact same story over again. You're like, oh man, that's boring.
Especially if the anime does it better.
Yeah, exactly.
Like man, this is cool in the anime, but on like 3D, like this is just kind of eh. That's why I haven't beat Kakarot. Like I have it. I got to the fight with Raditz and I just quit. I was just like, I know how this goes. Like it's kind of boring.
Yeah, I actually just skipped. I just skipped my that Kakarot. I was just like, I don't really have time for the game. I saw a little bit about it, and I knew you went through the entire story of Dragon Ball, and I'm like, I don't really have time to play it again.
I don't have time to see Goku Super Saiyan for the 1,000th time.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't really have the energy for that.
I bought it for my channel to like cover it because I did all that Dragon Ball content. Then Persona kicked off for me, and I'm like, okay, no Dragon Ball, no Kakarot for me. I'm gonna do this other thing now. But I still own the game. I was like, I'll come back to it someday. Back when I need to get my Dragon Ball itch for the story again, I was like, I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think people do want that for like nostalgia's sake. Like I remember watching the show and this happening, but like it definitely gets old, especially something as old as Dragon Ball. It's been around since the 90s. Like a story all the way back at the 90s, they're retelling again. Like something
that's
kind of
kind
Naruto,
of annoying.
you know?
But then there's some games that you will think that they will do good because of the type of anime that they are. Like Sword Art Online has the worst fucking games, and for the life of me cannot understand that, because the premise is of them being stuck in a fucking game. So I'm like, how is it that your games are so shit, but the premise of the anime is being in a fucking game? Like, I do not understand how you can mess that up.
I never played them or watched the show. Like, how is it bad?
They're just bad. They're just really bad. Like, okay, so like they are supposed to be like MMOs type, and so like one of them has like its own storyline, right? But it's like in between. It's in between seasons, kind of, so to speak. So in between the first season and the second season, there is like this game fits in that narrative or whatever. But like overall, it's just not good as a game. Like it doesn't play good. The gameplay feels like clunky, like a PS2 game. But they put a PS4. The graphics are pretty crap. Like the storyline makes no sense, and it's just like it really feels like a fan servicey game. Like they made it for the sake of fan service, but even then they didn't even do a good job of like being fun service.
I feel like a lot of anime games are kind of like that in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like the whole purpose of certain anime game is to be fan service. You know, to like, oh, you know, like I know fans are gonna be excited for this game because, you know, it's like it's another DBZ game or whatever. So like it's fine. Like on its own, being like that is fine. But when your only selling point is being that, then I mean you can't really enjoy a video game like that. And the game was really boring. I was like playing through it. I was like, man, like when am I gonna start enjoying this game? And I played one, and then I think the one that I bought had both of them, like the first one and the second game, and I couldn't get past the first one. So I was like, oh man, like I cannot imagine how the second one is, or like yeah, it was really just bad. I don't know. Like the biggest thing is the gameplay was just bad. It wasn't like the storyline or anything like that. The gameplay was just pretty fucking shit. So in my mind, I was like, well, what's the point? Like, how can you have a video game be bad, like in like the gameplay perspective? And the whole premise of the game, of like the anime, is that Kirito is like this super overpowered main protagonist or whatever. So I'm like, I don't know. You could have done some pretty cool stuff with like the game or anything. You know, it's an MMO. You know, make some RPG elements or something. But it was really boring. It was bad.
That's like a big case of like a good anime that could definitely like be adapted well to a game, but just the developer sucks. You know what I mean? They didn't license the actual show to them. It's like a good studio, which I think a lot of times that like happens, especially with like anime games. I don't know how, like I said, like with Dragon Ball and like some of these other games, like how many studios has like Dragon Ball been licensed to like make a game for? Like there's handheld games, there's PS2 games. Like, I mean, I don't know, all the way back to like PS1, I think like NES days. It's been licensed. Like, who knows how many studios have touched it?
Yeah, right.
And tried to make it into a game. There's so many failed games because there's so many studios who've done it. It's weird. That's like a bad case of just a studio not knowing how to make a game, and for some reason these like anime studios or whoever owns the rights to them are like licensing their games to. I don't know if it's like studios that they've seen do other anime games or what, but a lot of times I think they just get a hold of it and then just don't know what to do with the license. So like, I guess we'll just tell the story. I guess, you know, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, so. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's because they they just find a studio that can do anime games because they already do anime games. And two, I feel like the people that are making the anime don't understand the anime. So like it's always kind of missing like the core aspect of what makes the anime interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So that might
Or
be
maybe
it. I don't know.
maybe they're also not that invested with the show as well. Or like the actual creators of the show not being involved with the game. Because I think if I remember right, Akira Toriyama helped with Fighterz a little bit. Android, I think 21, that
Yeah,
new
well,
character,
that's designed by him. Yeah.
he designed it. Yeah, which
Yeah.
it totally makes sense. And she's like you can just see all the freaking fan art and stuff. People love that character.
Yeah.
So like, it's also another thing of like, how close was the actual studio who makes this stuff? How close were they with the development? If Akira Toriyama is flat out doing designs for the game, you know, it's probably gonna be pretty good. And it did pretty well. So that's also a factor of how well the game will do. Just how much of the source material that was actually made by different people, how much are they actually involved with it? Because if it's just people who have not a whole lot about the source material, and they weren't there when it was made, you know, like how are they supposed to know exactly how to do stuff? Especially with new characters, they're not gonna know what to do.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think so. I think they just don't really know the medium. I guess they don't really know like the anime, or like they don't understand it right. That's how I feel about it. But it's okay,
Yeah.
you know. It's okay. I think the games are getting better as a whole. Like I said, like you were talking about like the new Naruto, the last Naruto game, the Ninja Storm 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they did well recently the Demon Slayer game is coming out, or it's either coming out or already came out. By the time that this particular episode comes out, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be out by that point. And that looks pretty good, like graphics wise or like gameplay wise. That looks pretty fun. Although it's still another one of those 3D fighting games that I don't
I was
like.
about to say,
too
wait a
much.
minute, it's 3D.
Yeah, but like the animation looks pretty decent. So I saw the trailer for it. I was like, oh, it looks pretty good. I did seen that trailer a lot, or like the trailers, because they really heavily advertised that game. And I'm sure it's gonna sell well too. So that's no doubt on my mind. And then there's a lot of 2D fighting games too, like Melty Blood came out long ago. Melty Blood is based on Type Moon, which does have some anime. I guess like the Fate Stay Night.
Right.
I have no idea.
Okay, so Fate. Oh, really? Okay, so Fate Stay Night is a long time series, but Type Moon is like the big series. Okay, think of Shin Megami Tensei, like the big umbrella, and there's like a bunch of games like Persona or something like that. So Type Moon is like the entire universe, and Melty Blood is one series, and the Fate games are like the Fate novels are like another series, but are within the same universe. And there's a new game that came out long ago. Not long ago. It's a 2D sprite game, and it looks really good. I actually want to pick it up, but I don't have the time right now to play more games. So I already have a library of games that I need to finish. From like I have reviews that I have to get done, and then I have things that I have to get done too. So I'm like, this is just such a bad time for me to pick up more games. So I'm trying to clear up everything before SMT5 comes out. I'm like,
bro, I've been doing the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm writing an SMT3 review and a Persona 4 Golden review at the same time.
oh yeah. I just want to be done so bad. So I'm like, okay, now that everything's gonna be done, like I cannot pick up another game. And then like a lot of games are coming out right now. Like Tales of Arise came out not long ago, and that was also really cool. Like I played the demo for it, and that was really awesome. I love that game, and I'm like, I really want to pick it up, but I don't have the time right now. And then Deltarune came out, and that's like the sequel to what the fuck is that called? What was that?
Undertale.
Yeah, Undertale. But I don't have the time for that either because it's a fucking RPG. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna play that either. And then like there were some other games that came out that I was like, oh, I can't play it. Oh yeah, Metroid Dread. I was like, oh, I want to play that game, but I'm like, I don't have the time for that either, and I definitely don't want to. I'm not good at I'm not good at those kind of games. What are those games called? The Metroidvania style. I'm just not good, so I'm like, I don't really even want to try that because I know I'm gonna get frustrated.
I've never really liked those types of games either, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm just not good. So like, if I don't enjoy myself while I'm playing, I just don't really want to play it.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I never really gotten into it, to be honest.
Into
that style of game.
Oh, okay.
Metroidvanias, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I also feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if you played those as a kid, you probably love it now.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like the Legend of Zelda thing, right? I think a lot of people just like those games because that's how, they grew up with them and everything, and that's fine. Like there's always gonna be a little bit of like
nostalgia
bias. Yeah, I mean it happens. It is what it is. I mean we have
like,
bias too.
It's like with Kingdom Hearts. So many people hate Kingdom Hearts nowadays. I'm like, when did you start playing the games? Like, oh, when KH3 came out. I'm like, well, there you go. Like you didn't play them back then, so you don't get it. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, and it's fine. I mean, it's just, I guess it's just like nowadays, it is a different people playing the games and everything.
Yeah. It's like, of course you're gonna kind of hate a PS2 game right now. Like, no games are like that anymore. No wonder it seems clunky to you. It's like, it's a PS2 game.
Right.
Standards are up by now. Like, you're not gonna have a fun time playing Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2 maybe. Like, some might. Like, I can play Persona 3 and Persona 4. Those are PS2 games, and certain people can go back and play old games, but like certain people, it's just that they have a certain standard now.
A lot of people cannot go back and play old games. I myself, I'm like that. I cannot play old games. Like, I'm just bad like that. I look at something, I'm like, oh man, this is a retro game. If I didn't play it back in the day when the game came out, I don't really think I want to play it now.
Anything like NES back, I can't do. Like PS2 onward, I can do pretty easy. Like I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. Like I could play. Oh, also like I played Pokemon Gen 1 not long ago, and I loved it. To be honest, I almost would have took that over some recent Pokemon games. Weirdly enough, so I guess it just depends what it is. Like JRPGs, I could play old JRPGs. I don't know why, but like old shooters, like if I were to play like Call of Duty 1 or like Call of Duty 2 or whatever, that would probably be so bad, like under 30 frames and like a 720p aspect ratio or like 480p or whatever. That would probably seem really clunky to me because I've played a lot of newer shooters that just run so smoothly and play so smoothly. Playing those old games would probably be like atrocious, honestly.
Right.
Yeah. It's also like I said, I just feel like it fits on the time frame, like when you play that game. Because I'm like that too. Like there's games that there's no way I will play back in the day, like now. That I just sit there, I'm like, oh man, this game really didn't age too good. Like the Final Fantasy games, I like Final Fantasy, but like, do you look at 7 for example? And I'm like, I look at that game, I'm like, oh man, this game looks so bad.
Dude, that's so like polygony.
Yeah, like I'm almost lucky that my brain had like such high like imagination that at least in my head at the time, the games looked like, oh man, this is so cool, 3D graphics, and like your imagination was kind of doing the work there. But
Tifa's square-shaped boobs. Oh my god.
Yeah, stuff like that. So like I just see that.
I want to go back and play that game. Honestly,
7?
I feel like I'd be all right. Yeah, I feel like I'd be all right if I played it. Like JRPGs, I don't know why I could play old JRPGs and I don't care. I think it's because I missed out on all of them. Like you came into my streams and talked about Persona 3, and I'm just like, fuck, I want to play Persona 3 so bad. And I started playing it recently, and I'm like. Or people in chat were like, "Oh, this card system sucks. Like this game looks old." And I'm like, "I'm enjoying this like a lot. I don't mind it. It's weird. I don't know." I think it's because I missed out on it, and then I figured out, oh man, I love JRPGs. Like I figured that out like 2 or 3 years ago. I'm like, shit. There's other JRPGs other than Pokemon that are really good that I missed out on in my childhood. So now it's like I can go back and play them and still enjoy them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess it sort of depends.
This is what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I played JRPGs growing up, but I didn't play a lot of them. I just played a select few. Just because I like RPGs, but I enjoy so many other games too. So like, and my mom wasn't like the type to like buy me a lot of games. So like, I had only so many games that I could play, or like we could get really growing up.
What's funny as a kid, I played Pokemon. I'm like, and I thought that was the only turn-based game there was. Like, this is how you could tell I grew up in the West. You know what I mean? Like in a small town. I just thought Pokemon was the only turn-based game, and then like later on, I saw like other games like I don't know, like other like Final Fantasy like 13 or something. I'm like, oh, it's turn-based. Like, oh, they're copying Pokemon. That's what I just thought. I'm like, it's like, no, that's just been a turn-based genre for like decades. I just didn't realize. I don't know. I guess as a kid, I just thought Pokemon was the only thing like that. But no, it's like a whole genre. That's how much I missed out on like JRPGs. At least nowadays, they're not all turn-based. They're sort of changing that, but weirdly enough, that's just what I thought as a kid.
I think a lot of people did miss out, at least on the West. I think because like I just get exposed to different kind of games. I think, although I did play a lot of JRPGs growing up, there was always like this small like cult following, I guess, of like people that did like JRPGs and everything. Like I don't know, maybe because I was like so much into like anime and like that kind of stuff, that also kind of helped a lot too. Because I remember we were so into Yu-Gi-Oh, and we were into this rabbit hole, like me and my brother, of like these older card games and everything like that. One time I was sitting in elementary school. I was waiting for my mom to pick me up. This high schooler came up, and I guess he needed money, and he had a ton of magic cards, and he was like, "Yo, I need money to eat," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "Would you guys have like $10? Like I have all these cards," and I was like, all the time I was like, the thing I played was Yu-Gi-Oh, but I was like, "Oh, dude, like I'll take some cards." So I bought his magic cards, and he had like a lot of legacy old magic cards, and I remember he even took his time to like teach me and my brother how to play and everything, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And like we got the cards, and I don't know what happened to them, because I never saw them again. Like I don't know if like my brother sold them, because my brother liked to sell shit. He always liked to sell stuff. Like he got something new and he will sell it, and I'm like, "Why are you selling it?" He always liked to do business with people and sell them.
Maybe he just got over stuff easy. I don't know.
No, like
I always hold on to my games and things.
He always liked to sell stuff for some reason. Like when we were in high school, he had all kinds of stuff, but he had like 3 or 4 phones, because he will change things. He will exchange for other things. Like if somebody needed something like a battery or something like that, he will get the battery and then trade it to them. And so he had like 2 or 3 phones. So like if some kid got his phone confiscated, or their parents took his phone, he will trade it for something else, or like sell them a phone. Like
he's like a businessman.
Yeah, he was like always like running stuff. Like, so the first thing that he did one time is he bought a Kaiba deck. And my mom bought me and my brother one each. And my brother went to school, and I guess he bragged about it. And this kid bought his Yu-Gi-Oh cards for $100. And he went back home, and he told my mom, he was like, "Oh, can you take me buy some cards? I'm just gonna buy a bunch of cards." And my mom was like, "Why?" He was like, "Oh yeah, well I sold my cards, the one that my mom had just bought us." And this kid gave me $100, and she was like freaking out. She was like, "Oh my god, you didn't steal that money?" He was like, "No, like the kid wanted my cards really bad, so I sold them to him." So, so my mom goes and like finds the family. He's like, "You okay with you spending $100 on Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like on like that deck?" And he was like, "Yeah." So my mom was like, "All right." So then he took my brother to buy a bunch of cards, and he just started selling them. He always had money, and I was like, "How do you do this?"
This reminds me of a fucked up story, dude, that I did as a kid. I had a bunch of Pokemon cards. And I had just gotten into like trading them and stuff. I had a local Boys and Girls Club. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's just like
No, what is
a
that?
place where a place where kids can go after school and stuff like that, and then they have like video games there and stuff like that. It's basically like daycare for kids almost, I guess. So adults just don't have to deal with you for a while. But they have like a gym and everything. It's a good place. They usually feed you and stuff too. It's a good place to go to. But people were trading Pokemon cards and stuff like that. And I just got this Blaziken EX. And Blaziken's like my favorite Pokemon. Like the whole Torchic evolution is one of my favorites. And thing is, I always talk about how I hate chicken. He's a chicken Pokemon. That's kind of ironic. But I got this Blaziken EX. I don't know how much I traded. I traded like a match. I traded a bunch of stuff to get it. Like I traded multiple cards just for that one from this kid, and he got so many cards from me, and I got it finally. And I'm like, this thing is super valuable. Like everybody in the world wanted it. You know, it's a fire type. It's pretty strong. And my dad started this new job, and they paid for him to get a printer. So he had a brand new printer, and it was like state of the art at the time. And I was like, I wonder if I could print this card, like copy it. And then I ended up copying the card, and I made it look perfect. I had my mom help me. She's like super artistic and everything. We put like multiple layers of like paper down and like glued it all together and made it look all nice and perfect. We used like the industrial glue, like not Elmer's glue, because like that would be bad, but like the industrial glue,
Yeah.
so it could make the card look thicker and everything. And I had like a Blaziken EX that was fake, and I think I traded it to somebody at some point. That was the only time I ever did anything like that, but I felt so bad that I didn't want to ever do it again. But I did it one time. I don't know.
Oh, dude! I'm at school. Everybody play with fake cards.
Really?
Everybody be like using cards like photocopies. Like I could see their photocopies, and I'm like, no, you can't use that card. Go buy real cards.
I think I was fooling kids that weren't smart enough to realize it, because you could definitely tell like the color on it was a little
off or something like that. Yeah. I could tell because I saw them a lot. Like I literally spent all of my allowance money on Yu-Gi-Oh cards all the time. Like all my money, like all the time I was just playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and everything. So I knew exactly what they looked like. Some kid turned out with these Yu-Gi-Oh cards that look kind of weird. I'm like, no, get that out of here. Get some real cards.
Get some real cards, kid. If you have the time to print something off, you have the time to go buy them. You know what I mean? I don't know. The thing is, cards aren't that expensive either. You get like a whole pack for like not even like $10, probably less than that, honestly. I don't know about nowadays. I don't buy cards anymore, but like used to be like that. I know like I just did Beyblades for a minute. I didn't like that a whole lot. I had like one as a kid, I guess, and then it was like Bakugan. I don't know if you guys ever messed with those. Like you get the metal card and then you put the dude on it and it like springs out. That was weird. I never watched the animes for those, but that got really huge around where I lived. I don't know why.
I think I was out of that age group by the time that came out.
Yeah. I've never heard of it.
They were crazy at the time. I don't know. People went crazy for that. I don't know why, but I had a few of them. I don't know. Pokemon stuck with me the most, I guess, just because I played the game so much. I never really watched the show. I've never really watched Pokemon even till today. Like I tried, and I'm just like, this kind of sucks. This isn't.
Yeah, although they did make an anime based on Red.
Oh yeah, like recently, right?
Yeah,
like a couple years ago.
They put it on YouTube actually. It was pretty good. I enjoyed that game a lot. Not the game, the anime. But I thought it was a cool idea that they did. I was like, oh, that's unique. You know, that's unique.
Especially when you compare Red and Ash. Like Ash is like such a pushover compared to Red. You know what I mean? Like, if I remember right, I saw a thing like Ash is
he's such a
never
bad character.
like out of all of the leagues, like Ash has done like 10 or something leagues so far, and he's only ever won one of them. And that was the one in Hawaii.
And that's very recent, right? That's not even that's like a long time ago.
He's not really a champion if you think about it.
Yeah,
but like
he's
Red,
the opposite of a champion.
Red wins like Johto and Kanto. I think he wins like both.
Yeah,
I guess if you go like by the games, I suppose. I don't know. It's interesting how much like the disconnect is with the anime and the actual games.
Yeah, I don't think they have anything in common other than the Pokemon.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because like story wise and everything, I mean, like I don't.
Well,
it's not like Pokemon
environment
really has a lot of story or anything.
Like Nurse Joy looks like the actual person in the Pokemon games, like Gen 1 and 2 anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
And the cop and whatnot. But other than that, like, no. I think Giovanni looks the same. Like, Jesse and James, they're not in the games. Unless you get, like, the special Pikachu edition. That, like, has a lot of the anime stuff in it. But even then, like, not really. It's weird.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be the difference there, I guess.
I mean, those are kind of anime video games, I guess. The game were first, technically, but I don't know. That's like a game to an anime. Weirdly enough, that's like the opposite. But the anime did well, I think. I don't think if it was for the anime, we wouldn't have like all of the cards and everything everywhere. The games are pretty good, but I think that's the unique thing about Pokemon is like there's people who play the games as a kid. There's people who now play like Pokemon Go and like watch the newer shows and everything. I think that's why it's the biggest franchise. But I think if I remember right, that's like the biggest like single franchise in the world. Like Disney has multiple franchises underneath it, but like just Pokemon alone, I think it's the highest in terms of money because of how much reach they got. Weirdly enough, they have like fuck you money. They really do. That's why they can like release Pokemon Sword and Shield and it bombs, and they're like, we're okay, we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's sad though, because I really wanted it to be good, but what I've seen so far, I don't really like what I've seen. It doesn't look good. The new remake, remaster, what do you call that?
That's the Diamond and Pearl remake, I think, is what they're going for.
It doesn't look good. Have you seen it, Falcon?
I have not.
I'm
really
bad. Hyped for it. It's
bad.
Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl, I think, is the names. I thought they looked alright.
I think they look terrible.
I need to play it though. Like I need gameplay. That's the thing I'm looking out for. Like it's like chibi art, whatever, you know.
What, you haven't seen? You haven't seen gameplay?
I've seen a little bit. I'm talking like I want to see the health bar and everything. I want to see like a battle. I mean, like I've seen the characters move around and stuff, but like I want to see like a battle altercation. I don't know if they've done that or not, like an encounter and everything.
I don't know, because I stopped looking after the first original announcement. I dropped any interest that I had on it.
I don't think they've done it. Honestly, like this, like you showed a screenshot here. Maybe we'll put that in the podcast, like the video version. But like that to me, that looks like what Pokemon should be. Like I don't like how Sword and Shield looks, like the long, weird, linky characters. It doesn't look right. It looks like they're trying to make, like that to me. I don't know. But is that battle? I'm not sure. That doesn't look too bad, but like. I don't know. I feel like the chibi art style is what Pokemon want. Like Gen 1 and 2 up to like 4, I think. Even 5.
It's not. Well, the thing is that Gen 1 and 2 are not chibi style. They are pixel art.
Yeah, but they look small.
Yeah, because it's pixelated.
Yeah, well, which is what I feel like. But like when it's like that though, when your character walks up to a house, you're like 1/4 the size of a house. You know what I mean? But you go in, all of a sudden the house is huge. That to me is what Pokemon is. That's what I want it to look like. I don't like it looking realistic.
I really hate the way it looks. I'm like, Now the other one, Pokemon Arceus, that one looks cool.
Yeah, like that's keeping the new art style. But I don't know. I feel like that to me looks generic a little bit.
What does? Arceus? No, it looks great.
The way the characters look. The world looks fine. I don't know. I can't help it. It just feels a little to me. I don't know, man.
Like, I guess it just depends on your preference on the style.
It kind of reminds me of like the Persona 5 characters, like super like skinny and just they don't look like humans to me. I don't know.
Well, they look like
weird.
anime characters. Because, you know, if you look at in general, anime characters don't look human. They're really disproportionate. Like, there's no anime character out there that looks like a human. They all look disproportionate. Either like their limbs are long or too short, or their eyes are too big. Like, there's no way that any human's eyes are like
the facial features, but like body
hair,
like.
I don't know.
Yeah, the hair definitely not. Definitely not with the hair. If there's a thing I know. I don't know. Maybe it's just.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pokemon's
Chibi.
weird.
It's funny that you say that they don't look human, because Chibi is definitely not human looking.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I guess that's just how I feel. I guess that makes no sense for me to say that at all. But just, I don't know. This is what Pokemon feels like to me. It just felt like chibi characters to me. But like during battle, though, it never looks chibi, though. I guess it's just how I feel about Pokemon. I like that art style more for Pokemon, personally.
If they went back to just pixelated art, like
Octopath Traveler,
I will be fine.
Yeah.
But I hate these 2D, these 3D sprites that look chibi, because like the Pokemon is literally the character is literally almost the same size as Pikachu.
Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with you on that.
I do not like that. Like even proportionally speaking, she will have to be a baby to be the size of the character.
Yeah, like toddler.
Yeah, it looks like
2 or 3 year old.
Like, yeah, exactly. So like I'm like, I don't understand this. But I don't know. I'm not. Maybe I'm just hating on it, but I don't really like that style. I like the style they're going for the Arceus game. If you haven't already seen it, check it out, because it looks pretty cool. People are calling it like, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild type. Although I don't know if people forgot that there's already a genre called open world games, and every time that something comes up that is open world, they're like, this is like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's the Nintendo fanboys coming out, bro.
No, there's a thing called open world games. And these are open world games looking. Not Breath of the Wild.
That's why I always make that joke. I was like, man, they're copying Mario in this game. They're jumping. Wow. Jesus, they're copying Mario, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was playing a game called Monarch the other day. I was drunk as hell too through it, so it was great. But the thing that I'm trying to say about it is that whenever I was playing, I was like, oh man, look at those pants. They're just like Persona 5 pants. Persona 5 created pants. There was no pants before Persona 5. Cause that's how fans be sometimes. They're like, it's a little thing. They think like the game ripped it off from like some other game. I'm like, that's just dumb.
Yeah. If like you want to be honest, everything's copying Mario 64. Everything 3D is Mario 64 clone. It's like, okay, like that's such a weird thing to think of, especially like open world games. It's like there's so many open world games. I mean, Skyrim came out before Breath of the Wild did.
Well, Oblivion and what was the one before Oblivion?
Morrowind.
Yeah, Morrowind.
Yeah, they're open world games too.
Well, so's Daggerfall and the original. They're all open world.
Right.
They're pixelated though, I think, in the first two. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just Nintendo fanboys being like wanting to think they're copying Breath of the Wild, but it's like no, like everybody's wanted an open world Pokemon game since Pokemon came out because it just makes sense.
Yeah, it just makes sense, right?
There are wild animals in the forest. Let me go walk into a forest that's open world. Like that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So, what have you guys been playing as far as like games?
I've just been playing horror games on stream.
Oh yeah, you're doing the.
I beat Soma. Yeah, I beat Soma yesterday, and Dark Souls isn't scary, but I'm gonna start. I think I might go through the original Dark Souls
Oh man, you're
the
gonna play that for the
remastered
rest
one.
of the month.
I think I'm doing it on Twitch though, because like that's not gonna work well on YouTube for me. Like I played Soma and the views tanked. It's like this is an anime game. I'm like, yeah, this will be going to Twitch. I think.
If you wanna play an anime game, that is a horror game, you should play. What is it called? Oh man, let me.
I thought about doing like Bendy and the Ink Machine. I've heard that's
No. Play. I know this game. You're gonna get views from this game.
Was it
Doki Doki
Danganronpa?
Literature Club.
Oh yeah. I have that.
Yeah,
I never played it though.
Yeah. Stream that. That's gonna get you views. It's anime and it's horror.
Shit, bro. Let me download that real quick. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Holy shit, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I beat Soma yesterday, and in terms of like anime or manga, I just been reading Tomie like every night before bed. It's a good manga. I still love that manga. I'm halfway through it, and I already can. Tomie, the Junji Ito.
Oh yeah, you're still reading that. Oh, okay.
It fits the time right now as well. It's horror. It fits in so well.
Sometimes I feel like I just want to step out of my quote unquote comfort zone and like do that on YouTube and just like talk about like a specific thing. But then I'm like, oh man, like the channel just doesn't lend itself for it. And it's not like I don't want to do it. It's more like
you don't want to jeopardize your career.
YouTube, YouTube won't allow you to. It won't even advertise a video. So, so it's frustrating. I'm like, oh man, why don't you? Or like maybe just people don't care about what you're talking about. If it's not like something they care about, you're just gonna like not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even like the people watching's fault, right? Like they came for Persona stuff. That's what they subscribed for. I can't blame them on that either. Yeah,
so. Like I wouldn't be upset if like they're like, oh man, I wanted to watch this guy talk about Persona for the 20th time, but he's talking about Soma or playing Soma.
Yeah. I watched somebody came on my streamer like, you're the top Soma streamer. I'm like, yeah, nobody's playing this game. That's why. It's like from 2015. It's from the people who made the Amnesia games. It was their successor.
I know all of it. I think I actually own that game, but I never played it.
It's so fucking good. I don't know. For some reason, I like psychological horror, especially in video games. And that game is so good. That's why I like Amnesia. And apparently Soma has a sequel. Mm-hmm. I need to play that as well.
Oh, really? That's cool.
They're Frictional Games. They're an awesome studio. It's like a studio of like 10, 11 people or something like that. They live in Sweden. It takes them like 4 or 5 years to make a game, but every time they make it, it's always a banger. Like Amnesia did great. I think Soma did great as well, but I don't think a lot of people talked about it. It didn't get super popular for some reason. And then they made a new Amnesia game last year, I think, as well, which I really love that as well. That was a really good game.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played a good horror game in a minute. I recently just played Devil May Cry 3 again because one of my viewers, I think you know him, Golden, Playhouse.
Yeah, he's been playing them.
Yeah, he's been playing them. So I was like, oh man, I really want to play it. It was just in my mind. So I went back and played it, and I was like, oh man, it's as good as I remember. And I literally just finished it. I even thought of like playing it again afterwards, but I was like, man, I had to do something. But I don't know. My Twitch is basically dead. Like I stream often, but I don't get any views. So.
You just stream for like 8 hours on Twitch. I hate that, but you have to. The longer you stay streaming on Twitch, the higher up your stream goes in the recommended. That's the trick.
That's just weird.
Really, it doesn't get pushed like a stream does on YouTube. You have to wait like 10, 15 minutes, and then it gets pushed. On Twitch, you got to go hours, and it'll push you more and more. It's really weird. I almost started playing that too. I was like, I need something to do on Twitch on like my spare time. I was like,
yeah.
Dark Souls is always a good go-to because if you die, it's entertaining. Yeah, if you win, it's entertaining.
Watch it too, yeah.
But I have that Devil May Cry collection on the PS4.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start. I'm not gonna start. I'm gonna continue with Devil May Cry 4 because the thing about those games is I already played them, so I can stop at any time. Like whenever a new game comes out, I can just stop streaming that. and start playing a new game. So to me,
Yeah.
there's literally no level of commitment as far as like, oh, am I gonna continue this later or whatever. So I don't really have that too much.
I've only beat the first Devil May Cry, and then weirdly enough, I've played the DMC reboot, which
Oh,
is the one
yeah.
people kind of trash on. But
Yeah, it's
I was
pretty
like,
good.
that's pretty decent. I'm like, a lot of people say this sucks, so I'm like, I wonder how good the actual games are. So I bought the collection. So I have 1 through 4 to play. I've only
Yeah.
beat 1. A lot
Yeah,
of people say 2 kind of sucks too, but
two
I'm
is
gonna play
pretty
it
bad,
anyway.
But 3 is the best one, I think.
Hmm.
That's my personal
Yeah.
opinion. I like 3, and then 5, and then 1, and then DMC, and then
I don't-
DMC 2.
Those are older games, and I don't mind playing it. I thought DMC 1 was really fun.
That game actually has a Devil May Cry also has an anime.
Oh yeah, that's right. Is it on Netflix? I think.
I don't know, but I know there is an anime because I've seen it, and he also has a manga that happens before the games even started. They're like their young life before they before the events of the games happen.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
know
I
that.
like it. I like that. I like when they do that kind of stuff because you learn more about the characters and everything like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I like that stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, so there's a manga, and then there's the games, and there's the anime too. So I mean, they have a whole franchise. Although they haven't really done much with the franchise. They did the last game, but there was a big gap in between the 4th game and the 5th game.
Yeah, the reboots happened in between that, right?
Yeah.
The DMC reboot.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I just heard a lot of people say they didn't like that, but I never. Oh, I played and I thought it was okay. I think they were just upset it wasn't the original.
Yeah, I think
Dude.
that's what it is. I think that's what it is because Team Ninja made the game. And Team Ninja makes good stuff. They made the Neo games.
I don't know. Weird. They made the Neo games.
Yeah, Team Ninja.
Oh yeah, they did. I loved Neo 1.
Yeah.
I have Neo 2, but I haven't beat it yet.
Yeah, it's
I
really
only
good.
played a
Team
little
Ninja
bit.
makes great hack and slash that almost makes you feel like they're Japanese, but they're not. I think it's a studio from the UK.
Wait, so that's interesting. Wait, so who made? So it's Capcom. Wait, who did the original DMC games then?
Oh, actually not.
Capcom,
Team
right?
Ninja is Japanese. I was wrong. Team Ninja is Japanese.
yeah.
Wait, is that who made the DMC? I may be wrong. Who did the DMC? Let me take a look at that.
I know it's in a Capcom, but then I think there's.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory. That's who
Oh.
made that's who I was thinking. Ninja Theory made Heavenly Sword.
No
You wanna play that
idea.
game? No.
I played that. It was
Yeah.
release title for PS4,
Yeah. Or PS3, I think.
PS3 maybe.
Yeah. And they made Hellblade, which is also really good. And they made this really shit game called Bleeding Edge on Xbox.
I've never heard of these.
yeah,
Weirdly enough.
Oh, really? Yeah, Hellblade is really good. You should play it. Actually, that's a good horror game. The premise is awesome. So the main protagonist, they're Vikings, and she has to go down to hell to deliver like her. I think her husband died or something like that. But the crazy thing is, so she has to go down to hell to leave him there or something like that. But the thing is that she has schizophrenia. So while you're walking through the game, you have to wear headphones for that game too. There are voices that tells you things, and sometimes they tell you clues about the game, like, oh, watch out, there's an enemy coming. But sometimes they fuck with you, and you don't know whether they are right or wrong because they're always messing with you. They're always telling you stuff, or like they tell you the wrong clues, or they tell you like what you have to do. There's like puzzles and stuff like that. there's also combat. So there's like they're always talking to you. They're always telling you things. And as you die and you revive, and I guess like these black stuff that cover you, and your condition gets worse. Like every time that you die, it gets worse, and then voices get louder, and you get more voices and everything. It's really messed up, but it's pretty interesting. It I think you got like a lot of praise for that mechanic of like the voices and what it tell you and everything.
That's interesting. I mean, it sounds kind of like psychological horror, which I like.
Yeah,
I don't like jump scary horror. That never,
no, this isn't jump
never
scary,
gets me.
but like the psychologically thing like behind it and everything is pretty cool.
Right.
I admire that. It's a good game.
Yeah, that's good. I like that in games.
Yeah,
like Amnesia's kind of like that too, where your character, weirdly enough, has amnesia. You wake up in a place and there's monsters nearby, but you know that through notes as you play through the game that your character somehow is involved in everything that's happening here, all the bad shit, but you just don't know what exactly. And you can sort of determine there's like 3 endings of the game, the good, neutral, and bad ending.
Yeah.
And based off of how you do things is how it sort of like goes. It's kind of interesting if you play it that way. I won't spoil anything because that's like literally the whole premise of the game, but like that's what I always loved about it. And Soma's kind of similar to that as well. I'm not even gonna get into that. You just have to play Soma. It's too fucking much. But yeah.
Yeah.
Soma's even crazier than that.
Even crazier. That sounds pretty fun. Yeah. I definitely want to play more. I haven't had a lot of time on me to like drop times and do stuff. Like sometimes I'm like, man, you because I don't know. Would you argue that streaming sometimes or doing YouTube sometimes like takes away like from the experience of a game?
No.
No,
I always think it enhances it.
You feel like it enhances the experience of the game.
I probably would not have beat Soma unless I streamed it the past 2 days.
Yeah.
I probably would have stretched it out even longer over the week.
Yeah, I feel like it forces me to finish games that I otherwise wouldn't finish, or like because people are holding you accountable for, right? They're like, oh, when are you gonna finish this game, or when are you gonna continue this game?
It's also hard for me to stop when people are enjoying what's happening.
Yeah.
You know? Because then they get invested. I'm like, well, who am I to stop the stream right now and make them not enjoy this game? And, you know, and I like giving them joy through it. So I'm like, well, I'm going to keep going then. Like, yeah, everybody's having a good time. It's like, why should I stop? It usually makes me I'll wait till I get to a save point or like a good stopping point, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, we'll stop here or something like that. Right.
Yeah, I've been playing a game that I can't tell you guys about it. Never mind. But I keep trying to talk about it, but I'm not supposed to. And I'm like, I'm bad. Shut up. No, stop. Anyway,
as long as it's not SMT5, bro.
What's that?
As long as it's not SMT5.
Oh, no. It's not SMT5, but that should be. I mean, it's out in a month, so Name will want to talk about it.
I need to know what the fuck you're talking about.
No.
I'm curious.
SMT5 is coming out in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. In a month. I'm sorry. Yeah, in a month.
Well. Yeah. Basically a month. Yeah. A little less than that.
Yeah, less than that.
It's the 11th today.
Yeah. So.
When's it come out? The
12th or the 13th? Yeah, 12. Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much exactly a month. Then.
Yeah. Because in Japan, it kind of annoys me because Japan gets it a day earlier. There's going to be something crazy that is going to drop like 30 hours in the first day.
Yeah, they're also off time zone wise.
Right.
Somebody was telling me like, oh, they get it a day early because like time zone. I'm like, no, they're ahead of us a day.
Yeah, like, exactly.
No,
so they actually get it a day and 12 hours early.
Yeah. Which is nuts. I'm literally not getting on Twitter. I'm literally not touching anything till that game arrives at my doorstep. Yeah,
you have it, and I pre-ordered the collector's edition too. So I'm like, oh man, I'm so ready for it. Like I thought
you
about
get the collectors. I don't get the steelbook. Shit.
Yeah. No.
I have the money for it anyway. I
tried so hard to get the collectors. I waited. For days. I was checking on Amazon every day. And the crazy thing is, like, for some reason, it was getting sold out, like, within minutes of them coming out. And I was like, man, it's getting so frustrating. And finally, I was able to pre-order it after like a few days of trying.
I don't think they expected as many people to get it.
I don't think so either. I think they just thought that a few hundred people were gonna get the pre-order the game, because like this never been an issue. I mean, Persona 5, I have both of the collector's edition. It's never been an issue, but like this time around, it was so hard.
Didn't it also leak before they announced it as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, it leaked that it was gonna have a pre-order, but we didn't know when. Like, they didn't. They only announced that they were gonna have a pre-order time frame, but they didn't say what time or where.
Well, I think that even the pre-order thing leaked. Like, people were buying it before they said it was able to pre-order.
No. They just didn't know. They didn't say what time. It didn't.
Oh
leak.
Yeah, that's right.
They just didn't say that it was gonna come out on pre-order. They just kind of dropped.
It was they had the day, but nobody had the time.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So we knew the day, but we didn't know the time. So by the time that some people realized, it was sold out, and that happened not once or 3 times, but like it happened every day, basically. Every day the same thing was happening. Like it was going out on sale. And people didn't know, and Atlas will tell you like an hour or 2 later.
Yeah, by the time it's sold out.
Yeah, by the time that it's sold out, you're like, okay, well, that's frustrating.
I don't know who to get mad at. The fact that there's so many people like desperately wanting to get a hold of it like an hour, because like I don't have the time to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I can't sit there and refresh the page every hour. Like, I don't know. But also, Atlas has always been kind of shit at that. They really, I hate to say it, they don't care about us. Weirdly enough, they just don't.
I don't know. I just think that as like a Japanese company, most Japanese companies don't really care about like the West. They care from like a money perspective, but I don't really think they even understand their audience on like the West. I don't think it's not that they don't care, it's that they don't understand
we're a secondary.
Yeah, they look at Asia, they look at China, they look at Japan. They're like, okay, as long as we sell good in China and Japan, like, we're good, right?
Yeah, well, that's why, like, what was it, SMT5, or was it Strikers? Strikers came out, didn't it come out in China and Korea the same time Japan did?
Yeah, they're getting it at the same time.
The West had to wait a year, though.
Yeah.
So they can have China and Korea's done, but they didn't have the West done.
It's sad.
Well, except for SMT5. Other than that one day,
Yeah, it's a day.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's a day, but it's really like 32 hours. So
it's not even like, a day and a half.
I'm telling you, somebody's going to be like almost half the way to the game spoiling. It always happens.
I'm just not gonna check Facebook.
There's gonna be some YouTuber with the big thing on the top of it. Final boss, like the thumbnail's gonna be like the final boss with capital letters and a screenshot of the final boss. And
I know a lot of people who on Twitter would definitely leak all that shit. I definitely know.
Yeah.
But
that looks so disgusting. Why would you do that?
I don't know. They probably didn't play the game themselves. They got it from somebody else, and then they blew it up themselves because they have a lot of Twitter followers. So even they spoiled it for themselves to spoil it for everyone else. That's the ironic thing.
Yeah, like, I do not do that. I'm like, that. I don't know. That's gonna be hard to avoid spoilers for that one. So.
Yeah. Especially when we have to be on Twitter to plug shit. I guess I just had to not upload anything for like a day or 2 before that, or anything at all.
I mean, you could upload a video before the release date. I feel like it's always good to have like that final video of like everything we know about Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh, that's so cheesy.
Or 5 things you should know about Shin Megami Tensei 5.
5 things you should know. 1, don't fucking leak it. 2, you're not getting it a day early like Japan is. 3,
I will hunt you down.
3, Atlas doesn't care about you. 4, Persona 4 Golden's never coming to fucking console.
Persona 5 is not coming to Switch.
I think King came into my chat and he's like, He's like, Kingdom Hearts on Switch, and it's gonna be Cloud. I'm like, hey, at least it's coming to Switch, unlike a certain Persona 4 Golden I know about.
Right, yeah. I mean, it is... I'm excited, but it's... I'm Falcon has, like, no conversation in the... He's over here, like, falling asleep. He left the chat.
No, I'm here.
Type in the chat.
Yeah, you need to play those
sleepy.
games. But you have so many... You're already playing so many games. I gave you a game to play, and then you already have all these other games to play.
If you like anime, Persona is just anime the video game.
Right, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You want the beach episode? Got the beach episode. It's in there. You want an isekai? Go to the demon world. It's in there.
Yeah, even if you enjoy like the mundane activities of life, of like in
slice
the
of
anime,
life.
yeah, it has slice of life. Yeah, half of the game is slice of life, and half is dungeon crawling.
Isekai, dungeon crawling. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all in there. Yeah, really enough.
it really
I have
has.
so many friends who like anime that won't touch it because it's like it's turn based. I'm like, Persona does turn based differently. Like it's not bad. It actually feels fun. It tricks. Like it makes you feel like it's real.
It makes you feel like it's an action game at times.
Yeah,
Like it's pretty quick, I think, for something like that.
yeah. Especially the newer ones where they have like ease of life.
Yeah, definitely
things.
not Persona 3.
Yeah,
but yeah, Persona 5 does feel like animated video game.
that's a good starting point. If you like that, then maybe you like 4, maybe you like 3 as well.
It's a big maybe. No,
It's true. You're right, though. It is.
Yeah.
Like,
because I see a lot of fans of like Persona 5 and like they couldn't get into the other games, or they think Persona 5 is the best game ever.
I see so many people say Persona 4 was the best ever, but I played through Persona 4, and I'm like, you know what? And I hate to say it, I think Persona 4 drags on a little bit.
It drags on half the way to the last point, because there is a point where you think you're like done with the game, but you're not. And
It does that like 3 or 4 times, though.
Yeah,
I'm just
and yeah,
what's
that's the
happening?
thing. That's the thing. It happens a lot, right? It doesn't just happen one time or 2 times, or it happened like 3 or 4 times.
Like, there's times I enjoy it, those new parts that it keeps happening at, but like, even like the after game stuff is still pretty fun. Like,
But,
with just the time skip.
But what Persona 4 does well is like the slice of life stuff, because you're in like a small town, and like they have a beach trip that they go to, and then they have a snow trip that they go to too, where they go like snowboarding and stuff. Like all this stuff is just like it's so fun. Like it's so like it's such a like a nice like, oh, let's just hang out with our friends and have fun.
It's a good story as well.
Yeah, it's really nice. Of like, I find Persona 4 is probably like a comfort game for like people, because it's like it's just like such a hanging out with friends and that kind of stuff. It has that feel of like friendship is magic kind of thing.
Friendship is magic. See, it totally is anime the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Definitely.
like that's really how I feel about it. I feel like it's like it's such a
the bad thing about that game though is like certain characters get a good amount of development. Like Kanji, for instance, he almost does a 180. But like Yukiko
stays the same for the rest
same
of the game.
fucking.
Chia is like that too, but she's like the
She's
comedic
fun
relief. So she's just fun to watch because she's so dumb. And then like she banters with Yosuke, and they like banter with each other. So like they bounce off of each other so well. You know, they feel like the childhood friends, like the childhood friend thing. Although they're not actually childhood friends, because Yosuke is also a new kid. But like it does feel like they known each other for a minute now, and like they get along with each other so well, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then like I don't know, Risa just feels so out of place.
I like her though. I like that she's out of the.
Yeah, she's like an idol. Oh, you also get idols there and everything. Honestly, this is animated video game. Yeah,
it's true. It's true, man. That's why I only can do it so much, because I only can stand the tropes so much. That's like also the bad thing about it, is that it does that.
It has it's really tropey.
You gotta be in the mood.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you gotta be in the mood for the anime shenanigans. There's a lot of that in here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. What other anime games? We've talked about Dragon Ball. We talked about that. Like,
I like how we went from that to Persona, but
it's kind of an anime.
It is animated game. We just talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon's kind of similar in the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know it's like. There's games that have anime aesthetics, but they don't have an actual anime. But still, people I think call those anime games still.
Yeah, you will still. I think that's a game that is an anime, that feel anime, but it's not necessarily an anime game.
You're playing a video game
like the Tales of game.
It's like an anime.
The Tales of game have like animated cutscenes, and they look pretty anime. But I don't think they actually have anime. Not all of them. Some of them do nowadays, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But not all of them. Or Final Fantasy. I don't think they have any anime except for Final Fantasy 15 has an anime.
Advent Children. It's not really an anime. It's like a 3D.
Oh no, that's an anime. That's a movie. But
no, it's anime though. I don't know. Is 3D generated shit an anime though?
No, but because that looks like a video game.
Yeah, it's like 3D generated, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not really an anime, I guess. I don't know. Does that count?
No, but there is an actual anime for Final Fantasy 15. 15.
Yeah, it went on YouTube. Yeah, it's before Noctis.
It's before the game actually started.
Yeah,
and
I think we've talked about this at some point on one of our podcasts about how there's so much shit before you have to play 15.
Oh,
it's like there's the anime, but there's a movie.
Yeah, there's
a
movie.
To understand the shit with his dad.
The anime, then the movie, then the actual game,
and then in the actual game. DLC. Parts are cut out on purpose.
Yeah, and then the other part they cut out, so you have to buy the Royal Edition.
And then after all of that, there's a comic to show you what actually the true ending is with Noctis and Lunafreya. Dude, the game is like 50-60% of the story. Yeah,
it's pretty bad. I don't know, it's pretty sad. But there were some aspects that I liked, like you could ride the chocobos. Or the car that you get to drive around is pretty cool too.
I love doing side missions and stuff in that game. That was honestly the highlight for me. The story was kind of but like the open world, doing honestly, like bounties and stuff.
Half the way through the story was actually pretty decent. Like I was really engaged in like the story and everything. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna meet the fiance, and he has a fiance." It felt really anime to an extent, you know. Like he's a prince, and we're gonna go meet the princess fiance
Lunafreya, but Lunafreya is great. I actually wanted. They didn't expand on her a lot.
Yeah, they didn't. She died. More of that. I literally just spoiled it, but too bad. The game's been out for a minute. Spoiler alert: she dies before he meets her. So like this whole trip that they do is completely useless. I was like so annoyed about it.
No, he meets her, but as soon as they meet up,
as soon as they meet up, she dies
in the battle with them.
And then he gets a new weapon, which are kind of like, well, she died, but you get a new weapon.
Yeah,
that's not a 1-to-1 though. That's kind of bad. That's the only thing that you get is like you get a weapon, but she died. At what cost? A really expensive trident. It's not even a good weapon either.
She's like hella cute and way more interesting than Noctis. That's a sad thing.
Oh, the Noctis is just not an interesting character. I think anybody is more interested than him than Noctis, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here if you want.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming by and chilling here with us. This is the Anicast. Don't forget to like and subscribe and everything else if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, we'll see you then. Halloween episode should be coming out relatively
week?
soon around Halloween, so expect that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, check it out. See you guys.
Yeah.